Hello and welcome to Knit Designs. In this video, I would like to share with you how to knit this rib stitch pattern. The pattern is reversible and is fantastic for knitting scarves, hats, or even cardigans and blankets. The pattern is reversible, which means it looks identical on both sides. All you need to know to knit this pattern is how to knit a knit stitch. So let's begin. For this sample, I'm going to cast on 26 stitches. 24 stitches are for the main pattern and 2 additional stitches are there to shape the edges. This pattern works in a repetition of 4 stitches. Therefore, whatever number of stitches you cast on for your project needs to be also divisible by 4. So here I have completed casting on my stitches. I'm just going to make sure that the total does agree to 24 as I originally planned to cast on. I've got 24 here plus 3, so I'm going to take one off to make sure I've got 24 plus 2. Just make sure the working yarn is behind the left needle over your index finger. First, I'm going to slip the first stitch onto my right needle. This is my edge stitch. I don't knit it in the first row. Then I knit 3 knit stitches. When I get to the 4th stitch, I don't knit it. I put the yarn over the left needle and transfer the 4th stitch together with the increase onto the right needle. And this is the pattern that we repeat to the end of the row. I have nearly finished my first row, so the stitch before the last one is going to be again a slip with an increase onto the right stitch, and the last stitch is knitted as normal. So this is the end of the first row, and now I'm going to show how to knit the second one. The second row is slightly different to begin with. So to begin my second row, I slip off the first stitch. The second stitch I need to knit, but as you can see it's a little bit chunkier because it includes the increase. I knit it as one. Third one is a knit stitch. The 4th one is a slip stitch with an increase. And now I repeat the pattern from the first row by knitting 3 stitches, and the 4th one is not knitted but is a slip stitch with an increase and slipped onto the right needle. When you knit the slip stitch from the first row, like here, you need to make sure it's knitted as one and not knitted as 2 separate stitches. At the end of the second row, you should have 2 stitches left, which I'm going to knit as normal and tighten the loose end at the bottom. The first and the second rows form the basis of this pattern. What this means is that in the third row, we repeat the same stitches as we did in the first row. I'm just going to knit the third and the 4th rows together with you again. So in the third row, we knit exactly the same we did in the first one. So 1 slip stitch, 3 knit stitches, and 1 slipped with an increase onto the right needle. And again, 3 knit stitches with a slip stitch and increase onto the right needle. In the second row, we knit exactly the same way we did in the first one. So first is a slip stitch, then it's one knit stitch where we had an increase with a slip stitch. The third one is a knit stitch and then a slip stitch with an increase. Then we'll repeat the pattern of 3 knit stitches and 1 slip stitch with an increase. I would like to briefly mention about the edges. To form the edges this way, if you remember, we slipped off the first one and knitted the last one in each row. I have now knitted a few more rows, and this is what my sample now looks like. The pattern is identical on the face and the reverse side of the knitting. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.